What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to TTP Sports, and today we are going to preview the Eagles matchup for this Sunday against the New Orleans Saints. And we got some, I would say, important news going into this Sunday, some more breaking news. I think that just broke this morning, early afternoon, something like that. So, Jason Peters, he's going to be out the rest of the season. So, with that toe injury that he's been basically dealing with for the past few weeks, Jason Peters also being made of glass at this point, getting towards the late stages of his career. He is going to be out for the rest of the season, so that's going to be an interesting thing for the Eagles right there. And Jason Peters, he has not been playing good this entire season. That's just plain obvious at this point. He has sucked. Basically, like the entire team, he has not been a very much help for that offensive line. And now with him coming out, Nate Herbig is probably going to slide back in there. And we'll see how that is going to fare, and also how that is going to either benefit, maybe be a disadvantage for a guy like Jalen Hurts, who is going to be the starting quarterback for this team on Sunday. So, if you're looking at matchups and just going into the game in general, the Saints, they are one of the best teams. They are probably the best team in the NFC East. They're currently on a 9-game winning streak. Even though they don't have Drew Brees at quarterback right now due to his injury, Taysom Hill has been very good for the Saints in the past few weeks. Last week, he had a really good performance against the Atlanta Falcons. Even though Taysom Hill, he is more of a, I would say, run-first type of quarterback. He really is mobile. He likes to use his legs. But it did showcase last week that he was able to throw the ball consistently. He was able to hit his targets. So that's going to be something important for the Eagles going into this week. How are they going to defend against Taysom Hill? Because honestly, it's really a wild card with him, in my opinion, just because you really don't know what he's going to do, because when you have Drew Brees in there, sometimes Taysom Hill just comes out there and does one of those little special plays right there just to get the defense questioning a little bit. So I want to see how the Eagles can match up against a guy like Taysom Hill, and just like how can the Saints, and also how can the Eagles offense match up against the Saints defense, because the Saints, they are probably the best defensive team in football this year. And that's going to be a very tough thing for Jalen Hurts. And it just feels like when you have Jalen Hurts starting this Sunday, it's basically just throwing him to the Lions den at this point. Your first NFL start in your career, you're going up against one of the best teams in defense in the NFL. So good luck right there, kid. And Jalen Hurts last week, in his few snaps that he got for the rest of the game against the Packers, he had some good moments to where he was like, wow, that just happened. He made that nice throw to Jalen Reagor. He made that nice throw to Greg Ward for the touchdown on fourth down. He made some nice plays, and he was also able to showcase his mobility at quarterback. When he wasn't able to find any open guy, he was able to get out of the pocket, run, gain some yardage right there. So that's going to be a new look for this Eagles offense as well. How is Jalen Hurts going to be able to use his mobility to maybe break out of the pocket, gain some yardage right there if he doesn't have any receivers open that he can see on the field? So that's going to be one of the interesting things right there for Jalen Hurts. And also, just how is he going to match up against his best defense as well? It's just like, it just comes back to like what I said. It's just basically throwing the kid into the Lions den at this point. I can't imagine your first NFL start going up against one of the best defenses. That's just mind-blowing to me. That's what's going to happen to Jalen Hurts right there. And if you look at his stat line last week in his basically the last half of the game against the Packers, he was 5 out of 12 for his completion rating. He had 109 yards. He got that one touchdown on the fourth down conversion to Greg Ward. And he did throw that one interception late in the game, but that's basically when the Eagles were out of it. So it's honestly, those late game interceptions, I really don't count them as much, because it's garbage time. The Eagles weren't in the game whatsoever. So I'm not going to knock him too much for that one interception. And if you look at Taysom Hill's stat line last week against the Atlanta Falcons, he was 27 out of 37, threw for 232 yards, tossed 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. But I think the one thing besides the quarterback that's probably going to be the more, I would say, crucial part of this game, because the Saints, they like to run the ball. And we also heard from Doug Peterson this week in his press conferences, which is still mind-boggling to me, that we have to run the ball more. Really, Doug? Where did you come up with that idea? So they're going to, quote-unquote, run the ball more against this Saints defense. And that's going to be one of the, I would say, more crucial matchups because, like I said, the Saints love to run the ball. You got a guy in Alvin Kamara. He likes to run the ball, and he is one of their best running backs on that team. It's He got 15 carries last week against Atlanta, rushed for 88 yards. He got a touchdown, and also, like I said, Taysom Hill. He likes to run the ball himself. He carried the ball 14 times. He got 83 yards. So the Saints, they can mix a little bit of both. Give the ball to their running back and Alvin Kamara, or Taysom Hill can take it himself. And how are the Eagles going to match up against that? How is Jalen Hurts going to find a way to do the same thing? Is Miles Sanders going to get more snaps than he usually does, which he honestly should? But we just never know because Miles Sanders last week only got 10 snaps, got 31 yards out of it, and basically on that first drive of the game against the Packers, they were running the ball. They were finding some type of chemistry. Miles Sanders got some rush yards in there. Same thing with Jordan Howard. Is Jordan Howard going to be utilized in this game as well? We have to figure that out going into Sunday. And it just felt like after that first drive, once again, they just completely abandoned the run. Remember, I keep bringing up this one stat line that Ruben Frank brought up. After the first quarter for Miles Sanders had 5 carries in that first quarter, and I think majority of that was on the first drive. Second quarter, 0. Third quarter, 0. And I'm assuming when Jalen Hurts came in there in that fourth quarter, when they started to run the ball more, yeah, he got a few more snaps in there, but it just like that second quarter, that third quarter, why is Miles Sanders not getting the ball whatsoever? So is Doug Peterson actually going to commit to his word that he is going to run the ball more? Is he going to utilize Miles Sanders more? Is he going to utilize somewhat of Jordan Howard because he was used against the Packers last week? So that is going to be one of the interesting matchups. And how are the Eagles going to defend a guy like an Alvin Kamara? Is that going to be up to a guy like an Alex Singleton to probably defend against him? Because the Eagles, over the past few weeks, they have been giving up a lot of rushing yards. So the rushing, it's going to be an interesting matchup. And then you also go over to the receiving side of the ball. How are the Eagles going to match up against that? And one of the bigger matchups, it's going to be Michael Thomas versus Darius Slay. Darius Slay the past few weeks, he's been going up against some of the top wide receivers in the game. Seattle, he was matched up against DK Metcalf. Last week against Green Bay, he was matched up against Davante Adams. And he is still nursing an ankle injury right now. So are they going to target Darius Slay more, New Orleans? And it has been shown this year that teams are not afraid to throw to Darius Slay. Darius Slay is a really good corner, but he is probably not an elite corner. He's not going to stop every single thing. And sometimes when there are those 50-50 plays, he doesn't really stop them. You kind of felt that a lot last week, the past few weeks, when there are those 50-50 balls that Darius Slay doesn't manage to find a way to defend against it. So that's going to be one interesting thing. Are the Saints not going to be afraid of Darius Slay? Are they going to target him more with Michael Thomas? That's going to be one of the interesting things right there. And also Traquan Smith. How are the Eagles going to defend against him? If you look at going back to Michael Thomas, his stat line last week against Atlanta, he had 9 receptions, 105 yards. So that's going to be a tough matchup right there for Darius Slay. If you look at Traquan Smith, he only had 3 receptions, but he had 42 yards as well. So I feel like the Saints, they're going to be mixing and matching. They're not going to overly run the ball. They're not going to overly pass the ball. I feel like you're going to find a nice medium in between. They're going to maybe use an evenly amounted of pass and rush plays. So the Eagles defense, they're going to have their money in the bag right there for them. They need to figure out a way to stop this Saints offense. And then for the Eagles side of the receiving yards, I think one of the major matchups going into this week, or one of the major, not matchups, I think one of the more important players that has to step up this week, which was interesting going into last week at the end of the Packers game, I think Jalen Reagor is going to be an important receiver for the Eagles this week. When Jalen Hurts came in, he made that one beautiful pass to Jalen Reagor, I think in the third or in the fourth quarter against the Packers. It was a beautiful throw. It was a beautiful catch. And then you also had Jalen Reagor making that 70-plus yard punt return for the touchdown. So maybe does Jalen Reagor Does he get a little bit more confidence in there? Is he going to be targeted more? Or is he going to be used in more of those special plays where he becomes the receiver, where becomes the runner? He comes in and he runs the ball out there. So that's going to be more, I would say, interesting. How are they going to utilize Jalen Reagor in this game? Is he going to get more chances? I honestly hope so, because I feel like he does need to be utilized more. And like, you're also going to get Travis Fulgham back into the mix, since Alshon Jeffrey is probably not going to get any snaps. Thank God. So Travis Fulgham, in the past few weeks, didn't really get that many snaps, but when he was out there and they did target him, he really wasn't able to make a catch. There was a play last week against Green Bay where the ball was perfectly placed for him. It just went right through his hands. So I think he needs to be out there. He needs to get more snaps. He needs to get more targets for him to get that confidence back up to where we saw him like during the middle parts of the season, where he was the Eagles' best receiver. So that's going to be one of the interesting things right there. And going towards the tight ends for the Eagles, Dallas Goedert, Zach Ertz. I think both of them combined, they had seven receptions. Dallas Goedert, he had 5 of them. He had 66 yards. So is Dallas Goedert going to be the more targeted tight end? Or is Zach Ertz going to get more of them, since he's now coming off of that injury that he had, and he's got another week into his belt? Is going to be more comfortable? I would also honestly almost say, too, that maybe he still has to find a way to get comfortable for Jalen Hurts as well, just because it's a new quarterback once again in this system. So that's going to be something interesting to watch right there for the Eagles. And it's just going into this week, what do I expect? I'm not expecting the Eagles to win whatsoever, no. The one thing I'm looking for is how Jalen Hurts is going to perform. That's probably the major key of this game. How is Jalen Hurts going to perform in this game? He had some good moments against the Packers last week. He definitely did. He had some beautiful throws right there. He managed to escape the pocket, gain some yardage on the rush right there. So that's going to be one of the more important things. How is he going to fare this Sunday against New Orleans? And like I said, Doug talked about running the ball more. Are they going to actually run the ball more? If they find a way to get some chemistry by running the ball, is he going to abandon it once they get one stop right there? Because it always felt like every week, once there was a play where the running got stopped, he just completely abandoned the run. So is Doug going to stay by his word and say we're actually going to run the ball more? And going back to Darius Slay too, is he able to guard Michael Thomas? And he's also dealing with that ankle injury. So is he going to be able to? Wait, actually not an ankle injury, it's a knee injury. So the past few weeks, like I said, DK Metcalf, Devontae Adams, some of the best wide receivers in the league. And Michael Thomas, he's no joke in himself either. He's a really good wide receiver. Is he going to be able to defend him? Is this going to be another week where Michael Thomas and Darius Slay, is this just going to be another one of those weeks where Darius Slay does play good, but Michael Thomas is just, he's going to get his due. He's going to get those yards. He's going to make those catches. But Darius Slay also has a good game overall, because it felt like against Seattle, Darius Slay had a good game. He was just going up against DK Metcalf. He's one of the best wide receivers in the league. He is going to get his catches. He was going to get his yards. That's just reality at this point. So is it going to be one of those type of performances from Darius Slay where he does play good, but the receiver, he just is going to get his due. He's going to make those catches. He's going to get those yards. We're just going to have to see right there. So just going into this game on Sunday, I'm not expecting way too much. The Saints, they're one of the best teams in the league. They probably are the best team in the NFC. So for the Eagles standpoint, the only thing I want to look for is for Jalen Hurts just to have a good game, because there are definitely going to be points in this game where he's going to struggle. He's going up against one of the best defenses. He's going to have to figure a way to break those defenses, find the open mans, or just find a way to get his run game going. Get out of the pocket, run for those yards. Find a way to get some chemistry, find a way to get some confidence in there, and maybe you'll have a good performance. Maybe you'll get yourself within the game. And this is maybe also a bright side. It's a new look for the Eagles offense, because when Jalen Hurts was in the game last week against the Packers, you found some chemistry right there. You found some rhythm. Maybe that's something that benefits them going into this week. But in results of the game on Sunday, I'm not expecting them to win. I do expect the Saints to win on Sunday. The one thing, like I said, I just wanted to see Jalen Hurts and how he performs. I feel like that's going to be the most important thing on Sunday. And for Doug to stand by his word about using the run game. Those are the two things for me, for the Eagles standpoint, that I want to see. Doug staying by his word and running the ball more, and also how is Jalen Hurts going to perform. Like I said, I don't expect them to win. I expect the Saints to win. So I want to hear your thoughts. What are your thoughts going into this Sunday's game? What do you think are going to be the key matchups? And how do you think the Eagles are going to fare? What are you expecting out of Jalen Hurts? What are you expecting out of the team overall? I want to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to leave a comment down in the comment section. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to check out the Painted Lines, which I am a part of. Their links will be in the description below. Don't forget to check out the Florida Podcast merch website. That link will also be in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time.